Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to explore something pretty fascinating?
Always.
Okay, good. Today we're going to do a deep dive
Okay.
into a passage that presents wisdom, not as like a dusty old proverb like you always hear, but as a vibrant force, almost like a character.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so this comes from Proverbs 8
Okay.
from the Bible. We're looking at it purely as a text today, just as a source of some pretty cool ideas, and we're going to look at how it portrays wisdom, what it says to us, and why it might still matter today. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes.
Okay, cool. So it's intriguing right off the bat how this passage personifies wisdom. It's not just this abstract concept, but a being with a voice.
Yeah, it's like she's standing on a hilltop calling out to people.
Right. What stands out to you about that?
Well, there's this urgency in her tone. It's almost a matter of life and death.
Like she's not whispering, she's shouting.
Right, exactly. She's crying out to get our attention.
Yeah. Okay, so this passage calls out simple and foolish people specifically, urging them towards good judgment and understanding. Why these groups?
I think it highlights the universality of needing wisdom. We all start somewhere, right?
Right.
Everyone, regardless of where they are in life, needs guidance, needs direction. We all need wisdom.
So it's for everybody, not just people who think they're already wise.
Right.
And the contrast in this passage is so striking. Wisdom's words are right, true, wholesome.
And she's directly opposing, things like deception, deviousness.
Crookedness, yeah.
Yeah, crookedness.
What's the effect of that?
I think it's emphasizing the moral dimension of wisdom. It's not just being clever. It's about aligning yourself with what's right.
With truth.
With truth, yeah.
Okay, so then there's this claim. Wisdom is more precious than silver, gold, rubies.
Wow.
What could that be saying about the nature of wisdom?
I think it's saying that wisdom is the ultimate treasure. It's more fulfilling than anything money can buy. You know that feeling you get when you achieve a long-sought goal? That sense of accomplishment, that's the kind of richness wisdom offers.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to connect wisdom with like a whole host of other qualities. Understanding, knowledge, discernment, common sense.
Even success, insight, and strength are tied into wisdom.
That's a lot.
It is, but this incredible treasure, it's not locked away somewhere.
Right.
It's available to anyone willing to seek it out. It's not about stumbling on wisdom accidentally. It's about actively pursuing it.
It's intentional.
Yeah.
Okay, then it says that kings reign and rulers decree justly because of wisdom. I'm curious, do you see any modern parallels to that idea?
Well, yeah, I mean, we talk about the need for wise leaders all the time, don't we?
We do.
Those who demonstrate good judgment, discernment, ethical decision-making.
So it's still relevant.
It definitely is.
Okay, so amidst these grand pronouncements about kings and rulers, wisdom gets kind of personal,
Right.
saying like, I love those who love me.
Yeah, and those who search will surely find me.
What's that all about?
Well, I think it's a direct invitation to a relationship with wisdom. It's not reserved for an elite few. It's available to anyone who genuinely seeks it. Yeah.
Okay, so then it says that those who find wisdom, they're promised riches, honor, enduring wealth, and justice. Do we take that literally or?
Well, it could be both. Wisdom can lead to material success, outward recognition. But the real riches, they're the deeper rewards.
Okay.
Fulfillment, purpose, inner peace. These are the enduring treasures that wisdom cultivates.
This part about wisdom being present at creation really gets me. Like, before the mountains, the oceans, even the earth itself.
Wow. Yeah, it's powerful imagery.
What does that tell us?
I think it elevates wisdom to a cosmic level. Like it's a fundamental principle woven into the fabric of existence itself. Even before the physical world, wisdom was there.
Then there's this beautiful language about wisdom being God's constant delight, rejoicing in his presence and with the world that he created. Why all this emphasis on joy?
Well, I think it challenges our perceptions of wisdom as this dry, boring thing. Instead, it's a source of joy. A vibrant energy flowing through creation, bringing delight and harmony. It's about aligning yourself with this creative life force.
Not just following the rules.
Right.
Okay, so this idea of wisdom as a source of life, it directly connects to the next section, which is pretty cool. It describes wisdom nurturing those who heed its call.
Almost like a parent guiding a child.
Yeah, like a parent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a powerful image, isn't it? Wisdom nurturing those who listen to it.
Yeah, and protecting them.
Guiding them, protecting them. Almost like, you know how they say experience is the best teacher.
Right.
But it's not just about learning from our own mistakes. It's about tapping into a well of wisdom a deeper well that's been there all along.
Oh, I see. So it's always been there.
It's always been there guiding us toward what's true and good.
Okay. And then there's this warning,
Right.
a contrast between, like, finding life and favor.
Versus, yeah, injury and even death. It seems like there are real consequences to ignoring wisdom.
So we have to listen.
We do. The passage does shy away from how important our choices are.
Oh, interesting.
Like, embracing wisdom leads to flourishing, fulfillment, but rejecting it can lead to harm.
Yeah, I could see that.
And not just physical harm, but maybe even a spiritual death?
Oh, wow.
A kind of existential death.
So it's a big deal.
It is.
I'm struck by how this passage uses the language of choice. It's not about being, like, predestined for a certain outcome,
Right.
but actively choosing a path.
You're actively choosing, a path that leads to life or to death.
And that could be literal or metaphorical, right?
It can be, yeah. It's a reminder that we have agency in our lives. We're not just pawns in some cosmic game. We're active participants, and the choices we make, particularly in how we relate to wisdom, they have consequences.
You know, this reminds me of something I've been thinking about. Like, there's this pressure in our culture to be successful, to achieve certain things.
Oh, yeah, to accumulate wealth.
Wealth, yeah, status. But the kind of riches that wisdom offers, it seems different.
It is, yeah. It's a tension I think a lot of us grapple with, especially today. The pursuit of external success, it can overshadow the pursuit of inner fulfillment.
Right.
But this passage suggests that true wealth lies not in what we acquire, but in who we become. You know, the values we embody, the contributions we make, the impact we have. That's where the real wealth lies.
Like they say, you could be rich in things or rich in soul.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not to say that material wealth is bad or anything.
Right.
But the passage cautions us against prioritizing it above all else. True riches, the kind that wisdom cultivates, they endure, they last. They're the riches of character, compassion, integrity. Living a life in alignment with what's true and good.
That's a powerful idea. This whole passage has been painting such a vivid picture of wisdom and its importance.
It has.
I keep coming back to that part about wisdom being present at creation. Like, that's not just a passing detail.
No, it's not. It's central. That imagery places wisdom at the very heart of existence. It's suggesting that wisdom isn't something we invent. It's not something we discover. It's something we tap into.
I see.
A fundamental force that's been there since the beginning.
Almost like a reframe of how we view the world.
It is. It's like instead of seeing wisdom as something outside of ourselves, something we have to go and get, maybe it's more about recognizing its presence.
Oh, I see. Like it's already there.
It's already there in all things.
In us.
Yeah, in us, in the natural world, in relationships, in art. It's everywhere.
That's a pretty big shift in perspective.
It is.
So instead of chasing after wisdom,
we can learn to attune ourselves to it.
Oh, interesting.
Recognize its presence all around us.
Okay, so it's already there, and we just have to learn to see it.
Exactly.
And remember how the passage describes wisdom as God's constant delight.
Yes.
It's like that adds another dimension to this whole idea.
It does. It's not just a cold, abstract principle.
Right.
It's a source of joy, a vibrant energy that brings delight to all things. You know, this idea of wisdom and rejoicing in creation, it really challenges the notion that it's all about rigid rules or dry doctrines.
Yeah.
It's about aligning yourself with this creative life force, finding joy in existence itself.
That's beautiful.
It is.
It almost makes you wonder, like, is part of being wise learning to see the world through that lens of delight?
Maybe.
To appreciate the wonder and beauty of it all, even when things are tough.
I think that's a profound insight. It's not about ignoring the difficulties of life. It's about holding them alongside a deep appreciation for the gifts we've been given. And maybe that's part of what it means to live a truly wise life, a fulfilling life.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. Wisdom is a force, a treasure, a guide, a source of joy, even a presence at creation.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But the question is, what does this all mean for us in our everyday lives?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? How do we take these ancient insights about wisdom and actually apply them to our lives today, to the complexities of the modern world?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like we've been given this incredible map, you know, this guide to navigating life with wisdom. But actually using it, putting it into practice, that's the tricky part, isn't it?
It is. It's one thing to understand it in your head, but it's another to actually live it out. in our choices, our relationships, everything we do.
Okay, so how do we do that? I mean, the passage does offer some hints, right?
It does. Remember how wisdom emphasizes seeking her out. Those who search will surely find me, it says.
Right, right.
It's not about passively waiting, it's about actively pursuing her.
So we have to actually go after it.
Yeah, we have to be willing to dig deeper, ask questions, be open to different perspectives.
It's interesting. It's like we have to make room for wisdom in our lives. You can't just expect it to show up, right?
Right. It's like cultivating a garden, and you can't just scatter some seeds and hope for the best. You have to prepare the soil, nurture the plants, tend to them.
Oh, I like that analogy. So wisdom requires that same kind of care.
It does. It takes intentionality.
So then how do we do that? What are some practical steps we can take to cultivate wisdom?
Well, I think it starts with a mindset of curiosity, asking questions, being open to learning, even learning from people you might disagree with.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's about recognizing that you don't have all the answers.
Hmm.
Humility, that's a key ingredient.
Humility. Sure, I can see that. It makes me think we tend to surround ourselves with people who think just like us.
Yeah, a lot of us do.
Maybe that's a missed opportunity.
It could be, because wisdom thrives on diverse perspectives.
Oh, that's interesting.
It challenges us to look beyond our own limited viewpoints, to consider the world through different lenses. Sometimes those aha moments, they come from intellectual friction.
Oh, yeah. Like a good debate can really help you see things in a new way.
Exactly.
The passage also connects wisdom with understanding, knowledge, discernment, good judgment. We're not just born with those things, are we?
Well, some people might be more naturally inclined toward them, but they can also be developed.
Okay, so we can work on them.
You can. It's like a muscle, The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets.
So how do we exercise that wisdom muscle?
Well, by making conscious choices, paying attention to the consequences of our actions, reflect on our experiences, both the good and the bad.
Right, the successes and the failures.
Yeah. Learning from our mistakes, it's a lifelong process. It's about constantly trying to make wiser choices, always striving, refining.
So it sounds like wisdom isn't about reaching some destination, it's about the journey itself.
It is. It's about the continuous pursuit of growth and understanding. It's not about achieving perfect wisdom. It's about the process of becoming wiser, one step at a time.
And that journey, as this passage suggests, is full of riches.
It is.
Okay, so the passage talks about riches, honor, enduring wealth, justice, as rewards for embracing wisdom.
Right.
That sounds pretty good, but are those just material things? Or is it something more?
Well, likely both. Wisdom can definitely lead to those outward signs of success, but I think the passage points to something much deeper.
Okay.
Those inner riches, fulfillment, purpose, a sense of inner peace. Aligning your life with your values.
It reminds me of that quote, success is getting what you want, happiness is wanting what you get.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's like wisdom helps us line those two things up to find satisfaction, not just in the outcome, but in the pursuit itself.
Exactly. It's not about denying the desire for success. It's about cultivating contentment and gratitude along the way. That kind of inner peace, that's something money can't buy.
It really is. Well, this whole conversation has been great. It's a good reminder that wisdom isn't just some abstract concept from ancient texts.
Right.
It's a force that we can tap into, that we can cultivate, that we can actually live out.
It is. And the best part is it's available to all of us. No matter who we are, where we come from, what we believe, it's an invitation to a richer life for ourselves and for the world around us.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Proverbs 8, here's something to think about. Where might you be missing wisdom in your own life? What steps could you take, maybe even today, to seek it out more intentionally? How might those steps lead you to a deeper sense of purpose, of joy, of fulfillment? Thanks for joining us on this journey. It's been a pleasure.